Attention, citizens! Under no circumstances should anyone look outside. Do not respond to voices, faces, or shadows, no matter how familiar they may be. Remain indoors. Secure all points of entry. Do not open your doors. Do not investigate noises. Do not attempt to help your neighbors. Your survival depends on isolation. This transmission will repeat until authorized personnel regain control. Assistance is coming. Do not lose hope. Do not lose silence. Remain calm. Remain inside. Remain unseen.
This message blasted from my phone's speakers, my body jolting awake from the sudden, unwanted, noisy intrusion. Did my phone get hacked? I muttered to myself, my mind trying its hardest to wake up. I reached for it to try turning off the warning, but my screen was unresponsive to my taps. Whatever was going on, my phone was frozen in it as it continued to replay the message over and over again. I retreated from my room, away from the noise, making my way to the kitchen, only to feel my body freeze as I looked down my entryway. My entryway was a hallway, ending with a simple door, locked from top to bottom. To the right is a large frosted glass pane, made to obscure anything that could be seen through it. Normally, it would be empty. But today, a humanoid shadow had taken the frosted pane as its new home, staring inward into my apartment as it pressed its body against the glass. Who the hell are you? What are you doing at my door? I yelled, only to watch as more shadowy figures began appearing next to it, their bodies joining the first. It looked as if a crowd had made their way outside my apartment, the glass pane filling with darkness as more and more figures pressed their bodies against the glass. I turned back to my room, running to the nightstand where my phone laid. I fumbled my phone, noticing the alert had ended, and began to call the police. My phone vibrated in response as message after message came in.
A message from my mother?
I love you, honey. Come outside. There's something you need to see.
Another from my father. Son, we're outside. Open the door so we can come in. We made your favorite Texas sheet cake. A message from my sister.
Something weird is happening. Mom and Dad said you're all outside. What's going on?
Another message from my girlfriend.
We're all outside. Just open the door. We want you to see us.
My phone continued to buzz. More messages from my mother, from my teachers, from my exes, even my landlord. Messages flew by, all asking me to look outside, asking for me to open the door, demanding I obey them. What the fuck? I asked myself as I scrolled through each message. I attempted to call 911, only to be met with an automatic response.
Unfortunately, we are unable to receive your call. If this is a real emergency, please open your front door and wait for help.
I shakily put my phone down, the warning message playing back in my mind.
Under no circumstances should anyone look outside.
I exited my room and peered down the entryway. The crowd had left from the frosted pane, leaving only the original black entity. I stood in shock as the black silhouette raised its arm, reaching for something next to my door. I darted to the left, only to see its head move as well. Whatever was out there was keeping its eyes on me. The doorbell broke the silence of the house, sending a shiver down my spine. So this thing did exist. And on top of that, it rang my doorbell? If it could interact with the world, why didn't it break the glass? That's when I became aware of the noise, or lack of. I'm in the middle of the city, but where were the sounds? No cars, no construction, not even the cooing of the pigeons on my balcony. The doorbell continued to ring out, my fear quickly turning to annoyance. What the hell is this thing's problem? Screw off! I'm not going to let you in! I screamed at it in frustration, and to my surprise, it lowered its hand from the doorbell, resting it against the frosted glass. Tick, tick, tick. It was tapping the pane with its fingernail, almost hypnotic to listen to, if it wasn't so terrifying. I felt my floor shake. Something was happening downstairs. The ticking noise faded into the background as I heard my neighbors screaming in pain. Get it off me! Someone help! It's trying to crawl into my mouth. The floor continued to tremble as what felt like a brawl was breaking out below me. It sounded as if he was sprinting into his walls, his face being used as a battering ram against the drywall. The scream was soon replaced with gurgling, then choking, then a hysterical laughing. I felt my legs start to tremble from the knees. What the fuck happened down there? I looked back to the entity in the glass pane. It still tapping at the glass as if nothing was happening. I started to hear it giggle, mimicking the voice of my downstairs neighbor. Come outside. I'll make sure it hurts only a little. I didn't have time to respond, feeling my phone buzz as a new message was delivered. A new message from my mother.
You need to see this. It's hacking our phones. Show this ASAP to the creature outside your door to make it dissipate.
I watched an image pop up, my phone struggling to load it. Before it could, my screen was bathed in red, text scrolling across the screen as a new national alert was sent out.
Visual anomalies of the outside have been discovered circulating online. Do not attempt to view these images. Do not share them. Do not describe them. Exposure leads to sudden disappearances of unfortunate viewers. For your safety and the safety of all within your homes, Screen all media with caution. If you believe you have viewed one of these images, do not approach windows. Do not trust your thoughts. Do not trust your body. Remain calm. Remain inside. Further instructions will follow as containment procedures are attempted.
I turned my phone around before the image could load. For the first time, thankful for the crap cell service I had. I pressed the home button repeatedly on my phone before turning it back around, only to be bombarded with another barrage of messages. My phone began to buzz again and again with every person in my contact list, all demanding I view the image my mom sent me, telling me how important it was, how it was keeping them safe, how much it helped them. The entity began to chuckle, its voice still mimicking my downstairs neighbor. "It's not that bad. Just check it out. Your mom worked really hard to take that picture of us. It's only fair we help her share it with the world. Don't hold out too long. We would like you in health rather than in death." It laughed hysterically from behind the frosted plane. The laughing began to morph, turning into my mother's, girlfriend's, father's, then back to my neighbor's voice. I darted to my room, slamming the door behind me, clutching my chest to slow my breathing. I'm trapped here, and it may have taken my family, my friends, everyone. How do you fight something that's a game over if you even see it? 2. It's been over a week since the entity trapped me inside my home. My skin itched to feel the sun again, but I need to keep the curtains closed to prevent myself from seeing what's out there. I can hear them tapping on all my windows now. I can hear them whispering of just what they'll do to me for making them wait so long. I have plenty of water after filling up my bathtub and sink, but my food is starting to dwindle. Tuna, some canned soups, and one very brown banana. My phone buzzed. Another alert?
Attention citizens. We bring news that will fill you with hope of the outside. Cleanup units are now being deployed to extract the entities from residential zones. Remain where you are. Do not panic. For some of you, assistance has already arrived. You may hear movement in your halls. This is expected. Once your apartment has been cleared, you will be escorted to a designated safe zone. When the cleanup crew comes, and only when they come, you are to open your door without hesitation. Trust them.
My head snapped to the sounds of screaming coming from outside my apartment door, followed by the sounds of a fight. I looked down my entryway to the frosted glass, watching in shock as the entity's head flew off its body. Confused, yet hopeful, I made my way to the door, seeing the entity's body slump to the floor. From behind the frosted pane, I watched 3 shadows approach the door. One began to yell, his voice loud and demanding.
"Hello? Is anyone in there? We're part of cleanup crew number 12. We've dispatched the entity, so it's now safe for you to exit your apartment. May we ask what happened to your downstairs neighbor?
A smile appears on my face. I was finally going to get out of here. I was finally going to be free. I responded quickly, approaching the door to begin undoing the locks. I don't know. He opened the door and whatever was outside managed to get inside of him. Did it leave behind a body?
Yeah. He was really messed up. Look, there are more people to save in this apartment. We're doing health checks as well to make sure that everyone is doing all right. Think you can let us in?
Of course. I started unchaining my deadbolt, then my lock, then finally the lock on my door handle. My hand gripped the handle, freezing to the touch. But I was excited to finally be out of here. I glanced at the entity, excited to see what the dead bastard looked like, only to freeze in my tracks. The decapitated head, the crew outside. They were all looking at me through the glass. My stomach sank, my grip weakening on the door handle. Hey guys, I hate to do this to you, but think you can let yourselves in? I just undid all the locks, so you should be able to get in. The crew responded in unison.
Sir, we do not have the time. Please open the door so we can do a health check. We will not be opening it for you. Once we verify you're real, we'll take you to the safe zone. Aren't you tired of being in there?
Just for me, guys. Just open the door a bit. My body began to shake again. The realization dawning on me as the crew began to laugh, and the entity arose from the ground, placing its head back on its shoulders. You know, when I went for your mother, it was so easy. I just had to pretend it was you. You had fought your way to her home to save her from us. Oh, if only I could let you hear her begging for her life as we went inside of her. Oh wait, I can. I began locking my door again as I heard my mother screaming from behind the glass.
Why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this to me? Oh God, it hurts. Oh God. Rick, help. He's trying to crawl into my mouth. Help me, help.
Her voice was cut off as it morphed to sobbing, then gurgling, then choking. Then, using my mother's voice like a bright, sunny day.
Come out, honey. Wouldn't you like to be back with the family? It was your voice that made us open our doors. Why isn't my voice good enough?
I stepped back in terror, turning around to sprint back to my room. I shoved the pillows over my ears as the entity repeated my mother's last moments over and over again. I felt my phone buzz. A new national alert.
Citizens, disregard the previous transmission. It was not from us. The entities have infiltrated the national broadcast system. Do not open your doors. Do not trust voices claiming to offer rescue. We are actively working to restore control. Until then, maintain lockdown protocols. If you're running low on supplies, use extreme caution. procure resources only through secured internal methods. Do not exit your dwelling. They are learning.
I pushed my face into my knees, tears streaming down my face. I could hear the entities laughing in my mother's voice.
Come here, sweetheart. Mommy wants to hold you just one more time. Everything's going to be okay. Just open the door for me.
3. It's been almost a month now. My food is all but gone. I started sleeping to conserve my energy, though it's not like there's much else to do. My dreams were filled with the sun, feeling its warm presence on my skin, watching it light up the whole world. Can't believe I took the small sunbeams coming from my apartment curtains for granted. What I wouldn't give to see them one last time. I awoke to the sounds of someone outside my apartment, fists slamming against the door as they jiggled the handle. Leave me alone, I muttered, rolling over to try falling back asleep. At least they could never enter my dreams.
Tommy, where are you? I got your text message and made my own inside, just like you said. Please, open the door. Let me in.
Cried my sister, her fists continuing to bang against the door. I sighed, rising from my bed and exiting my room to confront the entity in the doorway, in the entryway. Rather than taking its usual spot at the frosted pane, it chose instead to hide its shadowy form behind the door. My stomach growled, just begging for food, it only adding to my exhaustion. It had been days since I had anything real to eat, resorting to a combo of olive oil and apple vinegar for my last meal. I was already starting to feel delirious from the unwanted fast.
Tommy, it's me. Please open the door. I got out of my apartment and made it here like you texted me, but they're right behind me. I don't know how long I have. Please tell me you're still alive.
Nice try, but I'm not opening my door. I already know you killed my sister weeks ago. Now shut up. I'm trying to sleep. My door shook as the entity heaved its body into it, frustrated that I did not fall for the obvious lie.
No, Tommy, it's really me. It's your sister. Thank God you're still alive. Please, open the door or check through the peephole. It's really me. I hear them coming up the stairs. Please, just unlock the door and I'll let myself in.
I clasped my hands to my ears. It sounded just like her. The way her voice trembled when she was scared. How I could hear the pain and tears through her words. Just like my mother. The entity knew how to mimic everything. I'm going back to my room. I'm not dealing with this. I was cut off by a loud thud from the door, as if something had slammed against it. I heard my sister screaming, followed by the sickening sounds of bones popping out of sockets and flesh being torn from bone. Shut up! I'm not falling for it! I screamed, turning to make my way back to my room. I froze at the sound of my sister's voice, filled with pain.
You promised you'd protect me. Why didn't you unlock the door?
I hurried back to my room, shoving a pillow over my ears to block out the sounds of munching and the breaking of bones. An hour passed before the crunching and chewing gave way to slurping and licking, followed by silence. I emerged from my room, almost relieved to see the entity back in its usual spot behind the frosted pane. Grabbing some water from the filled bathtub, I made my way to the entryway, sipping to ease the growing hunger pains. I moved closer to the glass, watching as the entity's head slowly rise to meet my gaze. Out of all the times you've done this, this was the worst performance I've heard. Though, why ask me to unlock the door? It's not like you can work the handle. The entity remained silent, peering through the glass. That's when I felt it. My feet were wet. Looking down, I saw a pool of red liquid had seeped into the apartment from under the door. My heart froze as I noticed the scent of rust filling the air. I looked back at the entity, it nodding at me. My sister's voice echoed from behind the frosted pane.
You should have opened the door, brother.
The entity began laughing maniacally as tears began to stream down my face. My body crumbled as the truth sank in. My knees hit the bloody remnants of my sister, my pants soaking up the only thing I had left of her. I reached into the pool of blood, attempting to grasp it as if it was her body. My sister had been outside the door, begging for her brother to let her in, only to watch her brother refuse to even unlock the door. I turned my hands, red, so red from my sister. Why? How? Bonnie? No. Tears mixed into the blood below me as I began to wail. Please, bring her back. I fucked up. Please, bring her back. I looked up at the entity, who was still grinning at me through the frosted glass. How did she get here?
She got away and ran to her dear brother. After all, she's been receiving text message after text message from you. We told her some information to get her here, and with her outside, we hoped you would open the door. Guess you're tougher than we thought.
The entity cackled, placing its hand against the glass and mimicking my dead sister's voice.
You can still save me, brother. Just open the door, and we'll be together again. Come out and fight this monster so you can save us all.
Another 3 weeks passed. Starvation began to cloud my mind. I started this morning eating the dried blood that had flowed under the door from my long dead sister. My mind was blank, replaced only with the desire to put something, anything, into my stomach. The taste of rust and rot blanketed every part of my tongue. But I didn't care. I needed food. I wanted to cry. I wanted to stop. But my body wouldn't listen. Hunger, removing any ounce of resistance I had. The dried blood made a sickening, popping noise as it separated from the floor. My teeth attempted to chew through the disgusting, dried scab. My hands moved against my will, my body forcing me to feed itself. I looked up at the entity in the door, watching it look down at me, talking in my sister's voice.
Why are you eating me, brother? That's all that's left of me in this world, and you're eating it anyway.
Shut up, I murmured, continuing to eat the scab on the floor. My stomach churned, wishing to eject the blood from my body.
Just open the door. I swear we have better food out here.
No, I'd die if I did that. If I was going to kill myself, I'd open the curtains so I could feel sunlight on my skin before I go.
Come on. Wouldn't it be nice to eat anything right now? Hell, I have an apple with me right now.
I peered up, watching the entity spawn an apple in its hand. My stomach screamed for it, my hands flinging themselves to the glass as if to reach through and grab it. Instead, my hand slammed against the pane, my fingers crumbling against the frosted glass. So close, yet so far. I slammed my head as I heard a loud crunch of the apple, hearing the entity slurp the juices down its throat.
So good. You know, we came here for your bodies, but this food was an unexpected bonus. The flavor is just to die for.
My hand started to shake, slowly moving to the door handle. I was so hungry. I wanted to stop eating the dried blood of my dead sister. I wanted to end this. I wanted to taste anything to get the taste of my dead sister out of my mouth. I pulled against the door, the door's locks preventing my sudden departure from the house.
Undo the lock. I have a nice steak waiting for you too when you leave.
I could already smell the steak, the nine crust, the garlic, the butter, pepper, salt. Oh God, I could just taste it already. I unlocked one lock, then the second, then the third.
Just turn the handle. You're so close.
The door handle turned, only for me to watch the floor fly towards me. My body collapsed, the entity banging against the glass as it screamed for me to finish what I started.
Just open this door. I'm out of time. Open it, open it, open it. I'll give you anything. Beef, apples, any dish you can dream up. Just open this door.
I could smell beef, mussels, carrots, blackberries, but it didn't matter. My body began to shut down, trying to squeeze every calorie out of my sister's dried blood. My eyes snapped open hours later to the sound of a national alert. Peering upward, the entity had vanished from my glass pane, no longer peering down at me. I felt my phone vibrate as a new alert came in. Opening the phone, I started reading.
Attention, citizens. The entities have begun to vanish. Reports confirm they are lifting from rooftops, streets, and windows, ascending into the sky while carrying the remains of those they claimed. It is now safe to open the doors. It is now safe to look outside. You may notice unusual shapes in the clouds. Do not be alarmed. These are the final signs of their departure. If you encounter any lingering forms, do not engage. They are residual and will dissipate shortly. The containment order is lifted. Breathe deeply. Return to your lives. They are gone.
I peered at the door handle, debating what to do, electing to exit through my balcony instead of my front door. I was done. I wanted to feel the sun on my one last time. I pushed myself off the floor and staggered my way to the window in the living room. The curtains had collected dust from being untouched for so long. Taking effort to open, I closed my eyes, feeling sunlight hit my skin for the first time in months. My eyes opened to the sight of my family rising into the clouds with smiles on their faces, hanging as if they were puppets on strings. Carrying them away was the entity from my window, a fog made of coal dust. I could make out most of its form, but I could tell, despite being so far away, I could feel it staring at me. Then it stopped its exodus and began flying towards my apartment. It motioned me toward it, my body moving to obey. Sliding open the glass door, my mind screamed to retreat back to the apartment as the entity picked up speed towards me, the rest of my family flying behind it like balloons on a string. My body fell over itself, weak from starvation. My face hit the balcony floor, snapping me out of the trance. I could feel my mind finally regaining control of my body. Turning around, I crawled back to my home, only turning once I was back inside to close the glass door. I closed my eyes, hearing the entity slam into the glass, followed by the bodies of each of my family members. I heard each voice of my family speak in unison. "Why didn't you come with us? We were so close. We could have gone together as a family. We lost your sister, and now we're going to lose you too." I felt another alert go off on my phone, praying it wasn't an alert telling us to return to quarantine. "We are departing now. Your yield was sufficient. The fields were ripe, the bodies plentiful. The harvest has been good. You will replenish. You always do. When your numbers return, we will descend once more. Next cycle. Do not run. Do not close your doors. We try to honor the deal your ancestors made before. Permission must be granted to harvest. But if we do not get a good enough yield, the deal must be redone. Rest well, little crop. We will be back when it's time to reap again.